to live a happy, productive life, but sometimes we just need a little help. Our Coach On Call experts provide strategies to help you live your best life now. Joining me today is Dr. Lorraine Maita, a functional and integrative medicine physician who practices anti-aging medicine, executive health, hormone replacement therapy, and weight management. She's the author of Vibrance for Life, How to Live Younger and Healthier. Dr. Maita is here today to discuss the top 3 things to add and subtract to prevent breast cancer. Welcome, Dr. Maita. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Joan.
So, Dr. Maita, breast cancer continues to be one of the leading causes of cancer in women. How much of that is genetic?
Contrary to popular belief, only about 5 to 10% of breast cancers can be linked to genetics. Most people are very much aware of the mutations of the BRCA genes, BRCA1 and BRCA2. These are the most common genetic cancers, and women with BRCA1 mutations have a 55 to 65% increased risk of developing breast cancer, and women with a BRCA2 mutation has a risk of 45%. So that is just a very small minority. About 85% of breast cancers occur in women who have no family history of breast cancer and no history of breast cancer at all. So these occur due to genetic mutations. Our genes sometimes make mistakes, and that happens as a result of the aging process, life in general, environment, and lifestyle factors. So it's mostly environment and lifestyle that increases our risk for cancer.
Doctor, are there foods that women should avoid to decrease the risk?
Yeah, people are going to hate me, but caffeine is everybody loves their coffee. Caffeine is associated with an increased risk of breast cancer because it suppresses a p53 gene that makes a protein that slows the growth of precancerous cells. So it's a suppressor gene. So the risk of breast cancer occurs when drinking about 250 milligrams of caffeine, and that's about 2 small cups of coffee. So no vent days for anybody. You can still have some coffee. It has good antioxidants. Just don't overdo it. And, I'm exploring a coffee that has some special type of mushroom extract in it, some mushroom spores that actually decrease the risk of cancer. So you might be able to have coffee and prevent cancer. So we're working on that.
Doctor, to interrupt for a moment before you continue on with the list, what about decaf coffee?
Decaf coffee is filled with a lot of chemicals. A lot has to be determined by how it's decaffeinated. It's not only the caffeine, but decaf coffee usually is decaffeinated by a chemical process, and the chemicals aren't so great.
Okay, so let's go back to your list. What else should women avoid?
Sugar. Cancer loves sugar. It feeds on sugar, and, contrary to popular belief, starches are just sugars linked together like a string of pearls. So starch easily becomes sugar the minute you put it in the mouth. So sugar is very bad, that it suppresses the immune system and it gives cancer the fuel to grow. The other things that I would avoid would be vegetable oils and trans fats. That's found in processed and fried foods because these are inflammatory. Oils such as corn, safflower, and sunflower oils, as well as margarine or anything on the label that says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated, they create inflammation, and that inflammation increases damage to the DNA, and the damage to the DNA increases cancer.
So everything you just described is pretty much a staple in the life of most people. So let's have some good news. What are things that we can add into our diet to decrease the risk of breast cancer?
Well, green tea. It has polyphenols that have such powerful cancer-fighting effects. It does a lot of very good things. It improves insulin receptor function, lowers blood sugar, lowers lipids, helps you lose weight. So it's a fabulous thing to add to your diet. It suppresses other cancer types as well as breast cancer because of the ECGC polyphenol. So the best way to get these is to have the whole leaves, never just partial. So that's why that matcha tea is one of the best green teas, because it grinds the whole leaf, and that has more polyphenols. The other thing is fiber. What people don't realize is when you try to get rid of estrogen as it's broken down, it gets out of the stool, and it could be reabsorbed, especially if you're constipated or you don't have enough fiber. So fiber will actually bind the estrogen and get rid of it. So it also feeds the bowel lining, which protects you, and the bowel lining has 70% of your cancer-fighting immune system. So feed your bowel. Feed it fiber. It helps the cells stay healthy, prevents constipation, binds estrogens and other toxins, and allows you to eliminate them. The last but not least are omega-3 fats. These are, found in salmon and fish oils. They reduce the risk of cancer because they're anti-inflammatory. They also reduce the risk of insulin resistance, which causes weight gain and metabolic syndrome, heart disease, cholesterol, joint pain. Because inflammation is the root cause of almost all chronic illness. Anything with an itis, arthritis, gastritis, tonsillitis, autoimmune disorders. So these are very, very helpful to fight inflammation. And they're in things that I call fats that flow. These are fats that can be made into an oil. So fish, olives, avocado, nuts, seeds, and any of their oils, except for the safflower and sunflower. And there are also many lifestyle and environmental factors that affect our immune system. Our immune system is the surveillance for cancer. So you can prevent many, many types of cancer, not just breast cancer, as well as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, dementia, and more, just by eating the right kinds of foods and subtracting the wrong kinds.
Dr. Maita, thank you so much for being here. As you were speaking, I was looking at the cup of coffee that's next to me at the desk. So I know I'm going to be making some changes tomorrow, and I hope our listeners will join me in doing so. If you would like to learn more about this topic or Dr. Maita and her work, you can visit howtoliveyounger.com. And as always, to hear more from Dr. Maita, you can visit our website, cyacyl.com/Lorraine. We'll be right back.